Hi students, welcome back to Be Proficient in English with Binus University. Today we'll be talking about topic number 8, which is speaking, and we will learn more about the expressions that we can use in expressing necessity and obligation. Which one do you like better, necessity or obligation? Okay, so today's topic, hopefully we'll be able to make you have a better understanding on what proper English that you can use in this case speaking about necessity and obligations, and also to be able to evaluate your use of English this time, and perhaps will make your English better in the short future. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to be direct with you today. So there are 3 most commonly used models, in order to express necessity. The first one is have to. The second one is must, and the third one is have got to or have got to. Have to is pretty frequently used by people, and then in most cases it is used to form questions and negative sentences, like I don't have to, or do I have to, something like that. And then must, on the other hand, unlike have to, has its strongest sense. So when somebody says to you, you must clean up your room, it means you must clean up your room. Perhaps your mom is not happy about the situation in your room is. Perhaps your dirty clothes are everywhere, your socks on your bed, or perhaps your games are everywhere on the floor. So that's why your mother says, you must clean up your room now. All right? So what does it sound like? A necessity or an obligation? Okay, number 2, have got to. This is informally very often used. So you can say this in the context of, for example, I've got to do my homework tonight, otherwise I will be in trouble. Right? So it's something that you say informally to your friends, family, and someone who are close to you. And then it's not used in questions, as you probably know. So, have you got to go? No. Usually we say, do you have to go? We don't say, have you got to go? But mostly it's used just, do you have to go? All right, so those are the 3 things that we would focus on today. Now, let me give you more examples on how these models are used in different tenses. The first one is the present time with must. We must show our passport at the airport. Right? We must. It's an obligation. It's not only a necessity, it's an obligation, something that you have to perform in front of the immigration people. And then past time, now this is the unique thing about must. You don't say musted, because they don't have, or he or it, why did I refer a must as a he? Because it doesn't have the past form. So it has to be changed into had to. Last night we had to show our passport. So you don't say, last night we musted show. No, we don't say that. Must doesn't have the past form. All right, what about I have got to? So when you want to change it into past, you just have to say, I had to. The same with I have to, and then change into I had to. Or she had to, we had to, they had to, people had to. Okay, so those are the differences. Now, those 3 models we are talking about are usually used by people to express ability, necessity, and prohibitions, or obligation. And then they are always followed by the simple form of a verb. What does it mean? Look at the example. When you use the word had to, it is followed by verb number 1. It had to show. It's not, you don't say had to showed, but instead had to show. Had to pay. It's not had to paid. It had to pay. And then lastly, had to go, not had to went. So it is going back to simplest form, verb number 1. Okay, now let's have a bit of practice here. Now, if you drive, if you ride, or you use public transportations, you may have seen this, on the side of the road, yeah? You see a sign stating slow down, and then you are sitting next to the driver who happens to be a family member or even your friend, and then he didn't see this, or he doesn't see this, and he doesn't want to slow down. Using have to, have got to, or must, what will you say to them? Okay? Right, you're correct. This is something you can say. You have to drive slowly in the area. Okay? And then what about the second picture? What does it mean in English? Yes, it is slippery when wet. So when you see this sign, and then you are sitting next to the driver, if you are taking a bus, and the driver was speeding up, what would you say? Something like this? Right, yes, definitely. You are very angry, you are not happy, your life is threatened. So say this, it's slippery. You must not speed. You can add 3 exclamation marks there after the sentence, you must not speed. What about the last picture? Road closed. Yeah? When you see this picture, and then you're driving with mom and dad, yeah? And then what will you say to mom or dad? Something like this? Yes, road is closed, mom. You got to take a U-turn, turn around. Road is closed, dad. You got to make a U-turn, turn around. Let's go back home. We cannot use this road. We need to use other road. Or we must use other roads if we want to arrive on time for the family gathering. Okay? So, I hope that you know now how to use have to, and must to express necessity and obligation. I will see you again in the next topic.